Good morning, dear students. Welcome back to our online class. You are watching Chamam, and today we'll be continuing with our civics chapter, President and Vice President. In the previous video, we have seen that what are the important functions of the president and how the president is being elected. What are the other composition, tenure, etc. Okay. So we have also discovered that what will be his duties, different powers, okay, where the president is supposed to enact as the president or the role of president. Okay, so we have discussed the legislative powers. Let us have a brief look into that. The legislative powers are actually again divided into other 4 to 5 categories. Okay, we have seen that he addresses the sessions of the parliament, that is both the sessions of the Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, when they are called for the combined meeting, okay, together, president addresses the session of the parliament. The first session after each general election to the Lok Sabha. So after each general election to the Lok Sabha, the first session also president attends. He addresses the sessions of the parliament at the commencement of the first session of the each year, and he emphasizes on the internal and external policies of the government. Okay, so just in the first session he makes the members of the parliament, that is the members of both the houses, that what are the important powers that are policies, government policies that is supposed to be paid attention on, and the president has the power to address either houses of the parliament or even the joint sitting at any time. Okay, the second legislative power is that he messages to the parliament. Power to send messages to either house of the parliament, it is only in the hands of the president and not in the hands of the prime minister. Okay, prime minister himself is one of the member of the cabinet council in the Lok Sabha. Okay, so that's why the power to send messages is actually in the right of the president itself. And regard messages regarding to any pending bill or to any other important matter will be also taken into consideration by the president. Then the president also prorogates and summons the houses. Okay, now power to summon and prorogue the house of the parliament is completely under the hands of the president. Okay, now suppose for example we have the pandemic times, and during these times we have seen in the previous years that there were no meetings in the Lok Sabha house and the Rajya Sabha house, and for a particular period of time the houses were under the prorogation, and this was an order or decision was actually taken by the president and informed to the members of the parliament. Okay, then the power to summon parliament is subject to the condition. Now it is subject to the condition means depending upon the situation again. There should not be a gap of more than 6 months between two sessions of each year. So already we have seen this in chapter 1 of the Union Parliament, that whenever they used to assemble, there should not be more than 6 months of gap between the two sessions of the each houses. Okay, then normally there are we know that there are 3 seasons: the budget session, the monsoon session, the winter session. Okay, so that means there should not be more than 6 months gap between these 3 sessions. Okay, then president also have the right to dissolve the Lok Sabha. He can dissolve the Lok Sabha and order the fresh elections if required. Again, he can ask the Rajya Sabha, since Rajya Sabha is a permanent body, so he can ask the Lok Sabha for the re-elections. Okay, then next is that nomination of the members. President is also having the right to nominate the members. Okay, so he nominates 12 members to the Rajya Sabha from among persons having special knowledge or practical experience in various difficult departments. Okay, where whether it is related to literature, whether it is related to science, whether it is related to art or social service, it is the president has the right to nominate the 12 members to the Rajya Sabha. Okay, Then next is the president may nominate 2 members of the Anglo-Indian community to the Lok Sabha. So he also nominates the members to the Anglo-Indian community of the Lok Sabha, and if not adequately represented in the House, then the president also have the right to assent to the bills. Okay, now what do you mean by the assent to the bills? Assent means to give permission to the bills. Okay, so no bill can become a law without the assent and the signature of the president. Assenting means giving permission. So without the permission of the president, no bill can be, approved. Okay, once a bill is passed by both the houses, it is sent to the president for his approval. So if the normally we see that in parliament, in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, all the bills they discuss, and once they got the approval of the majority of the members of the houses, then it will be sent to the president for the final signature or final consideration. Okay, then if the president signs, then the bill will be approved as passed, and if not, it is not approved. Okay, so the president may give his assent or withhold the bill. Suppose the president finds something wrong, and he can also withhold the bill for some period of time until some major corrections or evaluations are done, and then later he will be resending it to both the houses. Then he sent it back to the houses concerned with the recommendations. Then, however, if the bill is passed again in the same form, he has to give his assent to the bill. Okay, so usually the houses examine the recommendation of the president. So this is what we see, that president will be having this permission to assent the bills. Now, seventh legislative function. Okay, that is here we discuss about the Promulgate Ordinance. Okay, that is Promulgate Ordinance means what? To make that bill officially pass under following the rules of the Indian Constitution or the amendments of the Constitution. Okay, so under Article 123, the President can promulgate an ordinance which has the same status on an Act of Parliament, may withdraw the ordinance at any time. Okay, and it is subjected to the following conditions, that in what conditions the president is having the right to promulgate the ordinance. The ordinance president must be satisfied that the circumstances make it necessary. In some natural calamity time, or during this pandemic time, or like some emergency declaration of the war time, etc. The president should see the circumstances, and according to that only he can pass the ordinance. And this promulgated at a time when both houses of the parliament are not in session. And this will be happening, when both the houses of the parliament are actually not in the session. Okay, that means now when sometimes it happens that the parliament houses will not be in the session, and during that time he will be taking the emergency decisions. The next is that assent to some state bills. Okay, now he can also give some kind of permission, written assent regarding the matters of the state bills. That is, the governor may reserve some bills passed by the state legislature for the consideration of the president, and the president can refuse his assent to such a bill, or he can also send it back for reconsideration. So either the president can accept it, or if he finds something he can refuse it, or he can again send it back to the governor of the particular state for more clarification. Bills affecting matters such as the powers of the High Court are reserved for the consideration of the president. Now the judiciary system is detached from our executive system or the government. Okay, so that is why any bills related that affects the High Court are actually directly sent to the consideration of the president itself, because High Court and Supreme Court comes under the judiciary system, which is in itself an independent executive system. Okay, so there are more about that we will be learning in the coming chapters. Now coming to the ninth legislative power is that formation of the new states. So a bill for the formation of the new states or is also being directly taken into consideration, or the assent is given by the president. Okay, recently we know that Andhra Pradesh is divided and a new state has been formed in the name of Telangana. Okay, but both have the share the same capitals, that is Hyderabad. Okay, so alteration of areas of the existing states cannot be introduced except on the president's recommendation. Now any of the name of alteration of the places, geographical boundaries, or the names of those states, anything, any alteration related to the existing condition of the state cannot be introduced or done without the recommendation or without the consent of the prime minister, president. Okay, so this is what are the different, we can see that different different legislative powers. Okay, so next we will be seeing what are the different discrete decision will be taken by prime minister. Okay, president, when no single party commands the clear support of the majority of the Lok Sabha members and there is a hung parliament. Okay, now that is, suppose there is no majority for the presidentship, so prime ministership in the by the majority winning party, and there is no eligible candidate that they feel that who could stand for the prime ministership, and then the president have the right to nominate the names for the prime ministership or give the name for the prime ministership. And this is because the president cannot appoint the new prime minister on the advice of the outgoing prime minister who may have lost the election for the support of the house. Now this is solely under the decision of the president itself. He cannot take the opinion of the outgoing prime minister because outgoing prime minister has gone because he has failed in the election itself. Okay, so this is the another reason or why that president has the right to take the decision regarding the new prime minister. Okay, then we will be coming to the next point, is that when the ruling party who has lost majority support in the Lok Sabha, or when a vote of no confidence may have been passed against it, then it recommends to the president to dissolve the Lok Sabha. Already we have seen president has the right to dissolve it. Okay, then it is at the discretion of the president either to dissolve the house or to ask the another party to prove its majority on the floor of the house. Okay, so this is another discriminatory power that the president actually holds. Then the last point that the president holds is that president can dismiss the ministers. He is also having the right to is also having the right to dismiss the ministers in case of the council of ministers loses the confidence of the house but refuse to resign. So if the council of ministers explanation part,